It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the BCRPM to send this greeting to friends and colleagues at the Sydney International Colloquy, and in particular to congratulate Emmanuel Camino for his inspiring leadership and commitment, and Dennis Tritaris for his meticulous organisational efficiency and technical wizardry in bringing about this follow-up to last year's International Colloquy in London. I've just returned from the third International Conference of Experts on the Return of Cultural Property, held in Athens and ancient Olympia, where I had the opportunity and honour to deliver an opening address on the demand for the reunification of the Parthenon marbles. Speaking in the Acropolis Museum, in the shadow of the Parthenon, and to an audience particularly sophisticated in its knowledge of the acquisition policies of museums, I took the opportunity to address the British Museum's increasing reliance on its pretension to the status of a universal museum. This is a self-serving, self-designated status ascribed to themselves by the self-appointed BIZO group of elite museums, including, of course, the British Museum. According to this argument, the Parthenon marbles, being of acknowledged global significance, can only be presented in their global context in a universal museum which transcends cultural and national boundaries. In contrast, according to this argument, the Acropolis Museum is monocultural and parochial. This argument can, of course, be turned on its head. In fact, the role of the Parthenon marbles in the great cross-cultural narrative of the British Museum is entirely contingent, derived from the accident of history whereby they found their way into that museum's collection. Indeed, in an act of cultural vandalism and looting by Lord Elgin. In contrast, the Acropolis Museum makes no pretensions to be a universal museum. It is focused exclusively on presenting the most comprehensive and holistic possible description and interpretative narrative of the Acropolis and its monuments. The Parthenon marbles are central and indispensable to this narrative, in contrast to their contingent role in the British Museum's narrative. By this argument, the Acropolis Museum in fact has a higher call than the British Museum on these marbles. When in ancient Olympia, I was conscious of the fact that I was near the birthplace of the Greek historian Polybius, who famously said that one country should not embellish itself at the expense of the despoliation of another. In this context, I share with you a quotation from one of my fellow speakers. The return of a work of art or record to the country which created it enables a people to recover part of its memory and identity, and proves that the long dialogue between civilizations which shapes the history of the world is still continuing in an atmosphere of mutual respect between nations. How true, and how opposite to the dispute over the marbles. They are a key component of the cultural identity of Greece. As such, it's a model outrage that these marbles held in London are not reunited with their counterparts in Athens. To echo the title of your colloquy, these marbles also are symbolic of cultural achievement which should unite us all as citizens of the world. It's a tragedy that instead of that, they are the subject of the most famous and long-standing of cultural disputes. The Olympia Conference was held under the auspices of UNESCO. By a coincidence of timing, the Director General of UNESCO has recently contacted the British government to advise them that Greece has submitted dispute to the UNESCO mediation process. We all wish this initiative well and must do whatever we can, individually and collectively, to support it. This important colloquy will in itself make an important contribution. I wish it all success in this, and I wish you all enjoyment in your colloquy.